there's no one in here. There's just me in here. I don't know how long ago they got away, so hurry. I just begin your search outside. All right. Now that they're all gone, I can start getting ready for the day. Things will start getting pretty crazy in here before long. Why, I normally have people just lined up. 20 to 30 people lined up just waiting to hear I'm open. Wait, I think I hear somebody coming. Come on in, we're open! Take that! Frank! Oh, Frank, I thought you were somebody else. Well, at least the murderer's not in the kitchen.
Oh, what in the world?
Frank, are you okay?
I think so. Connie, are you okay? I heard you screaming and I came into the garage.
What took you so long?
I had to roll out under Van Davis's car. I got here as quickly as I could.
Frank, something horrible has happened. Look.
Well?
Who is it?
How should I know?
Didn't you look?
Look! Are you kidding me?
Somebody has to.
Oh, Frank, be careful.
I really don't think this poor soul can hurt me now. No, it can't be.
What, Frank? What is it? Tell me, Frank, you're scaring me.
Whatever you do, Connie, just don't look under that table.
Why, Frank? What is it? What'd you see?
I just can't tell you.
Frank,
I don't think I can do it.
don't do this to me. Just tell me what you saw.
I can't tell you, Connie.
Well, if you're not going to tell me, then I'm going to have to look myself.
No, Connie, you can't.
Frank, if you're not going to tell me, then I'm going to have to look myself.
Okay, just give me a second. The person lying under there is none other than...
For heaven's sakes, Frank, I've never seen you this upset. Well, at least since the time I told you I didn't love you. You just sit here and try to pull yourself together. I'm going to go see what's gotten you so upset.
No, Connie, you can't.
Frank, really? No, it can't be.
I knew it.
What's going on? Frank, is that you?
Ronna, thank goodness you're here. Quick, get the police.
Police? What's happened?
A murder, that's what.
Murder? Is that Connie?
Yes.
Connie's been murdered?
No, not Connie.
Well, then who, Frank?
Oh, you see,
Who, Frank? Who?
I can't tell you.
For Pete's sake, Frank, pull yourself together. Tell me what's going on, will you?
All right, just give me a minute. It's not even 7 in the morning yet. I haven't even had my first cup of coffee. Things like this just don't happen in Mayville, Ronna. I mean, things like this happen in big cities like Tuttle, but not here. Not this. What's happening to Mayville, Ronna?
Nothing is happening to Mayville, Frank. Now just pull yourself together and tell me what's going on, will you?
It's like a bad dream. I only hope that I'll wake up soon, this will all be over. Quick, Ronna, pinch me, tell me it's just a dream.
Stop it, Frank! You're getting on my nerves!
I'm doing the best that I can.
Okay, Frank, I know you're upset. I know something horrible has happened.
I heard screaming and,
I need you
well,
to just calm down and let me help you.
It's a nightmare, I tell you.
I mean,
Things are never going to be the same again, and it's all my fault.
Frank, pull yourself together. This is not resolving anything.
There are 3 bodies lying on the floor, an extremely upset party, and a hostile person trying to escape. Are you getting all this down? You'll find a place to keep this information in the back of your programs. Can you see to right? Young man, you up there with the lights, would you turn some lights on so these folks can see to right?
What is going on here?
Perhaps you would like to respond to that yourself.
I am not going to tell you anything.
She's not very cooperative, is she? That's important information.
Not that off.
My, what a temper.
I do not have a temper.
I see. So then, why is he crying?
I don't have the faintest idea.
Where am I?
What is going on? More interesting, isn't it?
Who are you?
I'm Mildred McBride, dear.
And what are you doing here?
Well, that's a story in itself. But first, I think we should find out what's happened here.
Why should we tell you anything?
She certainly seems like she has something to hide. I'd keep my eye on her.
Will you stop that?
Does she always scream like this?
Yes, she screamed at me.
I see.
I did not scream at you, and I'm going to ask you for the last time to stop doing that.
I'm afraid you'll just have to get used to it. You see, it's critical that I help them through this.
Help them through what?
What is that?
What's going on here?
My head is spinning. I'm most kind of queasy.
My. They're all coming around. Is anyone else lying about?
Oh, no one.
That Buck! He's never getting up again!
Oh, Connie, don't cry. You know I can't take it when you cry.
You mean that's Buck?
Oh, it's only Bob. Well,
What do you mean it's only Buck? How can you say
And
that?
I suppose that you're happy that my brother's just been brutally murdered.
No, I just thought it was Miss Connie.
Murdered? Buck's been murdered right here in Mayville?
Right here in my cafe!
It's all my fault.
Stay away from him!
I mean, we need to make sure
Stay
that...
away from him.
I think you should just get out of here, Junior.
Bye.
I think that would not be at all wise. In fact, I'm going to have to insist that you all stay here until I can, with their help of course, conduct an investigation.
Seems to know what she's talking about investigations and stuff.
Well, I'm afraid she's right. A body should not be touched without the proper authorities present. It's against the law. We'll just have to collect all the evidence we can without touching the body.
Who are you anyway?
I think I've told you that already. I'm Mildred McBride.
But what you haven't told us is who died and left you in charge.
Well, actually, I think we've already determined who's dead.
It was an expression, okay?
A very insensitive one. I'm beginning to agree with Miss McBride. You do seem heartless and rude.
Oh, you never liked me.
And there's a reason for that.
And as for the in charge part, well, you see, I've taken an oath. I may be retired, but I still feel bound to the pursuit of a common good. I'm a member of the High Order of the Investigator Society, and as a member, we pledge to find the truth wherever we go. So I'm afraid I'll have to stay here until I've found out what has happened.
We have police for that.
And you've called them?
Well, actually, I was about to.
She's had a rough morning. She can't think of everything.
I'll call them, and in the meantime, I'm going to ask that you all cooperate.
Frank, why didn't you tell me it was Buck?
I tried, but you wouldn't give me a chance.
Try? Frank, I practically begged you to tell me.
I'm feeling really lightheaded.
Here, Connie, sit here.
Who would do this anyway?
No, she thinks it's one of us.
last fall at the fairgrounds when Buck won for the 5th year in a row? I remember her saying that he cheated at that race and that she would get him for that.
He did cheat, but that doesn't mean that I'd kill him, does it?
Buck did not cheat. He won that race fair and square. He was the best driver in the county.
Oh, please, that's what he wanted you to think and everybody else in town. But pretty soon, the truth is going to come out about his driving and a lot of other things.
And what is that supposed to mean?
Oh, don't act so innocent. You know exactly what that means.
I don't have to listen to this.
You just don't want to face the facts.
The fact is you're in my cafe, and as long as you're in my cafe, there'll be no bad talk about Buck. Do you understand?
Sure, fine. But that's not what you would have said 6 months ago.
And what is that supposed to mean?
Oh, nothing really. It's just that 6 months ago you said the same thing about old Frank here.
Frank? Frank and I are still really good friends, right, Frank?
Whatever you say, Connie. Whatever you say.
You never did get over her, did you, Frank?
I will always love her. I believe she'll come back to me.
Well, the competition certainly is thinning out. Maybe it was you.
What are you saying? That I killed my own brother?
In some jealous rage, perhaps?
Absolutely crazy.
I've heard crazier things.
You know, I can see why she might think you two did it. But how could she think I did this awful deed?
Now we see her true colors coming through, always thinking of herself.
This is the last time I'm going to ask you nicely to leave my cafe.
Really? Well, I think we've all been asked to stay, and stay I will. I think this could get very interesting.
Don't you dare go near him.
I really don't think anything's going to hurt him now.
Miss Marshall's right. Please stay away from the body. There may be fingerprints or other evidence that we don't want disturbed. Besides, it's part of the oath. Evidence should not be tampered with, especially a body. Besides, it's against the law. We have police for that.
When are they going to get here anyway?
Well, I think you should all just get comfortable because it could take some time.
What does that mean?
Well, when I called them, there was no one at the office, so I had to leave a message on the machine.
Well, this is a small town, you know. It's not like something like this happens every day.
Then I think it was fortunate that I happened to come along.
Fortunate for whom?
How did you just happen to come along anyway?
Well, I'm on a little vacation, you see, and I just happened to be driving through this beautiful little village of yours, and I was stopped at the stop sign at the corner when I heard a lot of loud screaming.
That must have been me.
It was pretty loud. I heard it in the garage and I was under a car.
It was loud enough to wake the dead. Sorry, it slipped, okay?
So I just followed the screams. I was drawn to them, you might say. I guess it just comes from years of experience. So I tracked them to this cafe, and here I am.
Marvelous. Now, why don't you tell us about that annoying little quirk that you have?
Quirk?
Yeah, you know, like when you do this and talk to something or someone out there.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, whenever I solve a crime, I always include them. They help me.
Who is them?
Why, the other members of the society, of course.
Connie, what do you think?
Sure. Why not? I have nothing to hide.
We'll see about that.
Would you leave her alone?
I think we shouldn't do anything without the police.
Junior.
Fine, you four just sit here while I get the rest of the membership ready. Well, are you up for this tonight? You'll have all the tools you need, paper and pencil. And throughout the night, you'll be given paper clues. Now, I need to tell you that there are two different types of clues. Horse's mouth, which are true, and grapevine, which may or may not be true. So be alert, be inquisitive, and remember our oath. A good investigator misses nothing. And those of you who correctly solve this crime will receive the usual reward of a warm thank you, a hearty handshake, and the satisfaction of a job well done. Well, shall we get started?
Let's just get this awful experience over with.
Connie, are you sure you're okay?
I'll be fine. How about you?
Fine. I'll be just fine.
I'm not sure we should continue.
Can we just get going already?
I'd like to start with the victim's brother.
Me? You think I did this?
I just want to ask you a few questions, if that's all right.
All right, well, I'll try my best.
Please state your name.
Francis Delaney.
Francis? Who names their son Francis?
John Wayne's name was Marion.
Well, I knew that. I also know he changed it.
I'll be getting to you in a few minutes. In the meantime, please remain quiet.
Just pretend I'm not here.
I'd love to.
Mr. Delaney, I'm sorry to put you through this, but I'm afraid it's absolutely necessary.
It's okay. I'll try my best. I'm afraid I'm sort of still a little in shock, that's all.
I'll be as brief as I can. Now, exactly what were you doing before you came into the cafe?
I was in the garage this morning. I was working on Ben Davis's car. Changing the oil, the usual stuff.
So you're employed at the garage?
Yeah, that's right. Employed.
And what exactly do you do there?
You know, garage work, oil changes, tune-ups, body work. I'm pretty good at body work.
I see. And Buck was your brother?
That's right.
I'm sorry, Mr. Delaney.
It's okay, thank you.
Did your brother work at the shop?
You could say that. He owned the place. It's Buck's body shop. He inherited it from the old man.
So Buck was your older brother?
Well, why would you say that?
Well, if he inherited the family business, I would assume that he was the oldest.
One would assume that, but I'm the eldest, and Buck was adopted. But, you know, Buck was the mechanic, and I'm just the body man. And Dad thought the work of a car was under the hood, you know, so when Dad passed, he left the shop to Buck. Buck just kind of gave the job here to tide me over, you know what I mean?
No? What do you mean to tide you over?
Well, I'm going to open my own place soon.
I see. So you're going to open your own body shop.
No, I buy stuff at auction and resell it.
Oh, you mean like at garage sales?
I beg your pardon?
I mean, do you buy things at garage sales?
What do you take me for?
I'm trying to figure that one out, actually.
I buy stuff right before a company goes under. Like when Ace Hardware went out over here in Mustang, bought about 300 shopping carts from them. Cleaned them up all real nice and neat, repainted them, and when Walmart did their remodel, I sold them off. Made pretty good money.
I see.
Just gets hard doing that at the back, back end of a Ford Ranger, so need to get my own place as soon as I get far enough ahead. It's pretty good business, but I guess Buck just thought it was a fluke when I made all that money. Of course, Buck never really thought much of me anyway. It's like the old man.
I see. When was the last time you saw Buck? Alive, I mean.
No, must have been about 5 o'clock last night. He dropped off his car, wanted me to get it all nice and clean for the trials tonight.
What kind of trials?
Oh, another dirt race, preparing for the big county showdown.
A dirt race?
Yeah, Buck was the county champion 5 years running just a local hero.
You don't sound very impressed.
Just get sick about hearing about it, you know?
Yeah, you're not the only one.
It's all folks seem to talk about around here. It's got on my nerves.
It must get pretty hard being around all his fame.
He didn't say that again. It's like everybody in Mayville just fell down on the ground and worshipped the guy. Just had to learn how to ignore it. Never thought it would come to this. It's all my fault.
That's something we're going to have to determine, Mr. Delaney.
Wait a minute, he was my brother. You can't think that I would have hurt him, do you?
Please, Mr. Delaney, just tell me everything you did this morning.
Like I said, I came in first thing this morning. I was working on Ben Davis's car, doing some of the small stuff. Oh, trust me with the small stuff. So I heard Connie scream right after I'd taken out the drain plug. Came running in from the garage straight into the cafe, and I saw Connie sitting here screaming her head off and didn't know what was coming in, so I came in, and next thing I know, I was lying on the floor.
So you go from the cafe into a garage?
Well, no, I came from the garage to the cafe. They're connected back there.
Is that healthy?
I don't know what you mean. I do it all the time. I've never had any problems.
Well, I mean, having a cafe and garage connected.
This is a very clean cafe.
I really don't think it mattered anyway. Grease is grease.
Oh, I've just about had enough of you.
I want you to stop being mean to Connie.
Frank, when are you just going to face the fact that your girlfriend dumped you for your own brother?
Mr. Delaney, were you and Connie involved?
I will always love her.
We will always be special friends, right, Frank?
Anything you say, Connie. Anything you say.
And so now Miss Marshall is dating your brother?
You mean was dating, don't you? And besides, they weren't dating. They were engaged.
Engaged? Mr. Delaney, how did you feel about that engagement?
How do you think I felt about it? She loves me. I know she'll come back to me.
Really? What makes you say that?
I don't think she ever wanted to leave me. It was just all Buck's idea. Everyone in this town just listened to Buck.
So let me get this straight. Your brother not only got the family business, which was rightfully yours, but he got your girl as well. This is very compelling information. Frank certainly has the motive, doesn't he?
But you can't think that I would be the one that would do this.
I have all the information I need from you at this point. Thank you. You've been very helpful.
Ronna, you can't think that I would have killed Buck.
It certainly looks that way.
Please keep your comments to yourself.
That'd be a start.
Well, if you ask me, this little mystery's over.
Well, as a matter of fact, I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Really? Like what?
Well, let's start with your name.
Ronna O'Toole.
Ronna?
Now, how well did you happen to know the victim?
Oh, I knew Buck. Everybody in town knew him. It's not like you could miss the guy.
Please, Miss O'Toole, I must have your cooperation, if you don't mind.
Oh, I don't mind at all. In fact, I think I could be very helpful for you. You know, I could tell you a lot about old Frank here and his scent of a girlfriend.
Don't you dare say anything mean about Connie. She is a wonderful person.
Right. Shows how much you know.
The best help you can give me is by answering questions about yourself.
Fine. I have nothing to hide.
How long have you lived in Mayville?
All my life.
And what do you do here?
I'm the postal delivery person. I've got to get the mail out. Either rain or snow or
Murder? Would murder slow you down?
I do have a job to do, you
You
know.
did a job all right on my brother.
You have always wanted to see bad fortune come to Buck, haven't you?
Do I have to stand here and listen to this?
That's right. Where were you this morning anyway? Perhaps right here, doing Buck in?
Would it be all right if I conducted this investigation?
I wish somebody would.
I don't know about you, but I'm having a very hard time liking this postal person. Please don't let your emotions cloud your thinking. I'm trying very hard not to. And I'm going to need your help with that throughout the evening, I'm sure. Now, when is this morning?
It's difficult for us to get together because, I have a job to do. And fortunately this morning, when I was driving in, I saw my sweet little Schnookums. She was driving out, and she was on her way to the post office.
But you don't know that for sure, do you?
Well, of course. Where else is she gonna be?
She could have been right here at Connie's cup of coffee.
No. When she pulled out of the driveway, she was clearly headed west. Connie's is east. Why would you go west to go east?
Well, thank you, Mr. O'Toole. You've been very helpful. So
you did see me there, didn't you, Jordan? You saw me at the post office.
I think you were there, yeah.
you think she was there.
Yeah, she was there.
Well, then let's suppose you were there. Was anyone there with you sorting the mail?
I was there. I was sorting the mail, I tell you, and no, I was by myself. I have a key. They trust me.
So you really could have been here, and no one can vouch for you.
Well, if my word is not good enough for you,
In situations like this, Miss O'Toole, I have to validate all evidence. You see, someone could lie to cover up the crime. I'm afraid I'm going to have to collect evidence from outside this little group. I hope you don't think it's personal.
oh, I don't take it personal. I think I understand exactly what's going on.
So, after you sorted the mail,
Oh, so now you believe me.
after you allegedly sorted the mail, what did you do next?
Before I opened up the window or anything, I decided to come over to Connie's for a cup of coffee and maybe a Danish.
Is that typical?
She is here most mornings.
Why, thank you, Connie.
I just want the truth to come out, that's all.
So you came over to the cafe, and then what?
Well, before I got here, I heard Connie screaming, so I came running to try to help.
And in what direction did you come from?
I was coming up the street from the north.
I see. So that would have put you on Main Street right beside me at the same time. That's funny. I didn't see you.
I was out there, I tell you. You had to miss me.
I'm extremely observant. I rarely miss a thing.
Well, you did this time.
Thank you, Miss O'Toole. I'll get back to you later.
Later? How much later?
Well, I'm afraid this may take some time, and let me remind you that you're a key suspect in this crime.
The crime is that I came in here responding for a cry to help, and now I'm being held hostage.
I thought you said you wanted a date.
Oh, shut up, Junior. Can we get on with it?
That's exactly what I'm planning to do. Miss Marshall, I have a few questions for you, if you don't mind.
Okay. But I'm really not feeling very well. This is just such a shock.
This is going to be quite a performance.
Hopefully this won't take too long.
I hope not. Who would want to do something like that to Buck?
Well, now that's what we're here for.
Well, you don't think I did it, do you?
I'm going to remain neutral until I've finished this investigation.
Please. Please just be easy on her.
I'll do my best. Miss Marshall, would you please tell us about your relationship with Mr. Delaney?
You mean Buck?
Who else?
Well, you could be talking about Frank, after all.
Oh, yes. You and Frank used to date each other, is that correct?
That was a very long time ago.
And why did you end that relationship?
I thought you wanted to know about Buck.
Well, I do, but since you brought up Mr. Delaney here, let's talk about your relationship with him.
Well, Frank is a sweet man. It just wasn't meant to be.
Really? And why is that?
I just didn't love him, that's all.
But you loved Mr. Buck
Go on.
Miss Marshall, please recall your morning for me.
Must I?
Don't make her. She's already been through so much.
It's okay, Frank. If this will help catch the monster who did this to Buck, I'll relive every horrible moment.
I'm really very sorry. Let's go on.
Just give me a minute to catch my breath.
Oh, she's always been a great actress.
I beg your pardon?
Well, you should have seen her in our high school play, The Miracle Worker. Everybody thought she was blind. She is good.
What are you implying?
Oh, nothing. I'm just simply stating that you're a very good actress. That's all.
Do you see what she's trying to do?
Yes, I think I understand.
This is just really difficult for me, that's all.
I realize that, Miss Marshall. Now, what exactly happened this morning?
I think you've put her through enough.
I think you're right, Mr. Delaney.
Do we all have to relive this all over again?
If I'm going to get to the bottom of this, I'm going to have to ask questions. Now,
Okay.
Miss Marshall, what time did you arrive at work this morning?
Well, it must have been about 5:30. I like to get here early to put on the coffee and fresh rolls. You know, the breakfast regulars, they really depend on that.
And you didn't notice or hear anything unusual?
No, I didn't.
What time did you discover Buck?
Well, it wasn't until after I finished getting the coffee on that I came out here.
So when you came in, you didn't notice if Buck was,
Dead? Is that the word you're looking for?
You are heartless.
I am just in touch with reality.
I always come in the back way. It's not until I come out here and turn on the lights that I actually would have seen him.
did you happen to notice if the front door was locked?
No, I don't remember that.
It was open when I came in.
It must have been. Perhaps the murderer went out that way.
If you'll excuse me, I'm going to consult my friends out here. Do you recall, was the door locked? There
Why
you
does
have
she
it.
keep doing that? It is annoying.
They're out there. Remember? You've already talked to them. Remember?
Now, Miss Marshall, do you own this business?
Connie's Cup of Coffee. It's a nice little business.
And when was the last time you saw Buck alive? I mean,
Alive? The last time you saw him? Alive?
Please, does he have to cry all the time? It's getting on my nerves.
Come on, he lost his brother.
Actually, I did see him late last night. We went to the movies. It was a lovely evening.
so you're saying you didn't see him this morning?
No, not until I came out here, and all I saw were his feet.
Miss Marshall, are you all
Well,
right?
you believe me, don't you?
Believe you?
That I didn't do this.
Well, this investigation is still very young.
But you couldn't possibly think I would do
Oh,
this.
you're not off the hook. You could be lying, too.
Who? Huh. You mean you've been lying?
Lying? Me? I'm a very ethical person. Ask anyone in Mayville.
Oh, I'm just saying that you're a very skilled actress.
She is a very honest person. I think you just need to leave her alone.
At this time, I'd like to ask Mr. Rogers a few questions.
Junior. Call me Junior.
Junior it is. Now, how well did you happen to know the victim?
Oh, what? Everybody knows old Buck.
Yes, so it seems. So you two were friends?
Well, we had our differences.
Please explain that.
What do you mean?
Well, tell us about the differences.
Oh, well, it's really all about jealousy. You see, I'm what you might call a genius. I'm an inventor, and a pretty successful one at that.
Please, does this man look successful?
Well, I invented the pocket fisherman.
You invented the pocket fisherman? That was Buck's idea. You stole it. He has the patent.
Jealousy. See what I mean? I've got the patent on the pocket.
Oh, he's lying.
Now, Junior, you wouldn't lie to us, would you?
chia pets, and then there was the clapper, you know, clap on, clap off, and then there was that really good one, the thigh master. You bought one of those, didn't you, young lady? Well, and then, let's see, then, that was just, I had just all sorts of it. In fact, those people at Ronco, they just wait up, waiting for me to come up with brand new ideas.
Other people's ideas, you might mean.
You see what I mean?
Maybe there's some truth in what she's saying. Is there anyone out there who will speak to your character?
Harv, are you out there?
Now he's doing it too. They're both crazy.
As I recall, you've already spoke to Jordan this morning.
Well, this whole thing is enough to drive anybody over the edge.
Hey, Harv, they don't believe me. Did you talk to them?
Well, sure, I'll talk to him. Junior, I've known Junior for a long time. Junior's an honest man, a hard-working man. I actually met Junior when Junior was a junior in high school. And Junior was a junior in high school 4 years, and then that's why they call him Junior. But Junior is a good guy, and he's not going to lie to anybody about anything. And he got cheated on that pocket fisherman thing. I know that was his idea.
So if Junior here is such a fine person, why was there such tension between him and Buck Delaney?
I was not aware of any tension.
Well, what do you think? Do you feel like there was tension?
You know, Bud just wanted the entire town to worship him. And he just couldn't handle it when someone else got recognition.
Ain't that the truth?
You know, I had to put up with it all my life. In fact, I decided that I wasn't going to let him get away with it this time.
And what did you plan to do?
I plan to become famous.
You'll be famous, all right.
I see. And how did you plan to do that?
Well, it's all about my new deal with the pocket fisherman.
Buck's pocket fisherman.
I don't think so.
He has the patent. I saw it in the safe.
Means nothing.
You saw it?
Safe and sound.
What new deal are you talking about, Mr. Rogers?
New deal. Well, I'm in negotiations with Walmart, and can you imagine the Horace Rogers pocket fisherman all across America?
Buck would never stand for that.
I really don't think he's gonna mind.
And you have the nerve to work for the government and represent a decent organization.
A decent organization? Doesn't she work for the Postal Service?
Well, apparently, Mr. Rogers, a lot of folks think that's a decent organization. Now, Junior, there seems to be some question about the authenticity of your invention.
There seems to be some question of authenticity of her story. I came up with the idea for the pocket fisherman. Right, Harv? Harv? Yeah, you said it earlier. Yeah, I came up with the idea.
That's his idea. I'm telling you. I don't always pay attention, but sometimes I do. That was definitely his idea.
Thank you, Harv.
Buck assured me the pocket fisherman was his idea, and Buck's never lied to me.
Actually, yes, Connie, Buck has lied to you.
What do you mean?
He lied to you about the will.
The will?
Safe. She said it was in the safe.
I overheard Buck tell you that he was going to change the will so that you would be the benefactor. That's not true, Connie, dearest. Mother wouldn't allow that.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I'm telling you the truth, Connie. He never changed the will. I am the benefactor.
And I think this is important information. Be sure you're getting this down. This is fun, isn't it?
Buck assured me my name was on the will.
Yeah, well, he lied about a lot of things.
Don't say that about him. I love him.
Oh, he was the scum of the earth, and you are naive for believing him.
This gets more interesting all the time. Don't you think? What is it that he lied to you about?
He told Jordan and I that he would throw the race and let us win.
Interesting.
Buck would never throw a race. I don't think.
Yeah, he would. He was not to be trusted. He was capable of anything.
Did he really lie to
Tool, did Mr. Delaney tell you he would throw the race?
Yeah, he did. He told us that he would let us win the race, and we wouldn't have done anything to have had that trophy just one time.
Anything?
Well, we wouldn't have killed him if that's what you're implying.
$5,000.
Shut up, Frank.
When did you say you saw that document in the safe?
Leave me alone, will you?
What's this about $5,000?
Nothing. It's just that somebody has a big mouth, that's all.
She paid Buck $5,000 so that he would throw that race. Buck won anyway. And who is she going to tell? The police? She really got y'all good.
Why, I ought to...
What are you going to do? Kill me too?
I did not kill anyone!
My, this is getting more interesting all the time, isn't it?
He really hurt you, didn't he?
He told me he loved me. Maybe that was a lie, too.
I'll give it for this.
Someone should kill him!
And that's just what someone did. One of the four of you knows exactly who did it. Do you?
No, I can't tell you right now. It's too complicated, trust me. I'm telling you, no. No, there's nothing wrong with the car. No, will you listen to me? I cannot tell you right now. Just get the boxes all filled, get everything ready, and I will be there when I can get there. No, there's nothing wrong, so don't let anybody think there is.
Now that's a good liar. She could make you believe anything. Why, she could be capable of anything.
I told you, I can't tell you right now. No. Will you stop asking? I told you I am not going to tell you, and I will get there when I get there.
And that temper? I mean, with a temper like that, she could be capable of almost anything.
No. It's in the middle drawer. Those are 19 cents. Yes. Uh-huh. No. Stop. Okay. 3 suits. That's all you use is 3 suits. Otherwise, it will be dark and bitter, like Connie's.
I really think you found the murderer.
No, there is no number that I want you to call me back at. If I need to get hold of you, I will call you. You'll do fine later.
She's deceptive, devious, a very angry person, and if you
Who
give
are you
her...
talking to?
Oh, the members of the society, of course.
Oh, and what is it that you're telling them?
The truth. Only the truth.
I see. So you're telling them all about your little scheme to get Buck to marry you just so you can get your hands on his shop.
That's a lie. You can't believe a thing she says. I loved Buck. We were going to be married.
Look at her attempt. Again, she is such a good actress. Oh my goodness. I am just so impressed with that.
And the property? You think I'm doing this for property?
Yeah, I do. Even if you can't get your hands on it.
I would never do. All I want is Buck. I don't want his property.
Right, I see. See, I told you she's a good actress. She's a born actress. She is so good.
You don't know what you're talking
so
about.
Convincing and oh my word, now I'm doing it. You two are driving me crazy.
Be careful here. This is the highest it's been.
Is that all you have to do?
Well, I got through counting the toothpicks. There are 8,300.
Stop! It was bad enough when you were counting. It was like you do it just under your breath, loud enough that we can tell that you're actually saying something, but not loud enough to really tell what you're saying. It was annoying, and it was like
those two together.
Oh, really? Hey, tell me, what are you saying?
Oh, I think you know what that means.
What does that mean?
Do I have to spell it out for you?
Yeah, spell it out.
Rhonda, don't take another step.
That won't be necessary, Mr. Delaney.
But she was yelling and I'm getting tired of it.
I saw what was happening, quite a temper. But you, Mr. Delaney, I didn't think you were capable of violence.
Well, I'm not really.
Looks pretty natural to me.
Well, did you see how I raised that wrench? It didn't look like the first time he's done it.
But honest, I would never hurt anyone. Isn't that right, Connie?
I don't know what to think anymore.
Mr. Delaney, where were you?
I was just finishing up on Ben Davis's car. He's going to be here for it any minute now. I was next door, honest.
Yeah, we actually think he was next door.
I was. Honest, I was.
I want to believe you, Mr. Delaney. Really, I do. But under the circumstances, that was not a very wise thing to do on your part. It just makes things more complicated.
What do you mean, more complicated?
Well, you see, these three can account for their whereabouts in the last few minutes. But you, Mr. Delaney, if something had happened while I was gone, all fingers would point toward you.
And you? How do we know what your whereabouts were the last few minutes? How do we know you're who you say you are? For all we know, you could be some deranged tourist.
I beg your pardon.
Well, it just seems pretty convenient that you just happened to be outside at the exact moment that Connie happened to be screaming out the door.
That does seem rather
Oh,
odd.
Junior, I don't need your help.
She has a point.
How do we really know that you are who you say you are?
Well, I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but I guess I'm going to have to ask for your support because they don't seem to believe me. Now, it's really rather simple. All you have to do is when I tell you to do it, I want you to stand and on the count of three say, "She's on the level." Okay, got it? So everyone stand. When I say three, remember, she's on the level. Ready? 1, 2, 3. She's on the level. Thank you for your support.
That guy didn't say it.
Is that good enough for you?
That is absolutely the most ridiculous thing almost the most ridiculous thing I think I've ever seen.
Well, Mr. Delaney, hopefully nothing will develop that will put your character at further risk. But will you please, from now on, do as I ask you? And please, don't leave until I have finished this investigation.
I'm sorry, I just didn't think.
Exactly. You didn't think. Now, I have some interesting information for all of you and for you. It's quite compelling. Get your pencils ready. Now, let's start with Miss Marshall. Miss Marshall, I'm afraid Butt did lie to you about the will. He didn't change it at all. You're not designated in the will. In fact, in case of Buck Delaney's early demise, everything, all the property would go to his brother Frank.
Maybe he just hadn't gotten around to changing it yet.
Well, it was changed last week, actually. He made a firm stipulation that everything would go to Frank, even if he was married and had children.
I think he suspected something.
This has gone far enough. I would never do anything to Buck. I loved him. We were going to be married.
Is there a talent scout out there?
I don't know how much more of this I can take.
I think you found a gold mine.
Miss O'Toole, I have an update about you as well.
Really? What?
Well, I had verified a $5,000 withdrawal from your account and a $5,000 deposit into Buck Delaney's account occurred at the same time, right about the time of the county fair.
Really? Isn't that a coincidence?
I don't think so. The cashier's check was drawn from your account and made out to Buck Delaney.
So what if it was? That doesn't prove anything.
It proves you lied. That's what it proves.
Was this $5,000 offered to him to win the race or to lose the race?
What if it was? That doesn't mean that I killed him.
I'm just trying to establish intent, Miss O'Toole, that's all.
Well,
Lost for words, Miss O'Toole. Such a shame.
And Mr. Delaney,
Huh?
I had a chat with your mother.
Mommy?
Would you say that your mother understands you?
I tell her everything.
Mm-hmm. She told me that you were quite upset when Connie became interested in your brother.
It was just all so sudden.
Your mother described it as a rage.
Rage is such a strong word. I'm really not a very emotional person.
not emotional, Frank? I really hate to see you if you got emotional.
I did get it right, didn't I, Mrs. Delaney? You called it a rage?
Yes.
So, Mr. Delaney, you say, was full of rage and very emotional. Now, what was it that you told me about Miss Marshall here?
Oh, I've always been a little suspicious of her turnabout all of a sudden. Just all of a sudden, it's got to be done. But it did leave Frank in quite a state. It was really hard.
So what did you think about Miss Marshall?
Well, I was kind of torn because, she had told me about opening a dance studio. That was always my lifelong dream.
I see.
To open a dance studio in her new mall. And I kind of warmed up to her a little more after that, but, there was still that little bit of something suspicious.
So she's suspicious of you, Miss Marshall.
That's a horrible thing to say about your
I'm
future
sorry.
daughter-in-law.
I'm sorry.
I somehow think the wedding's off.
That is not funny.
Is Louette out there? Louette?
Yes.
Okay, Louette, tell us why Connie was interested in Buck's shop.
Buck's shop?
Go ahead, Louette.
Well, it just is a really good location.
I see. So what was Connie planning to do with the shop?
Well, Connie's just a really good businesswoman, She's very good. And she would have made it just a really fruitful place for everyone. She had a business in mind that would have included everybody.
So she was going to have several shops, like a strip mall kind of thing? Is that what she was planning?
Yes. I believe that's the word she used with me.
Mrs. Delaney, was Connie planning to turn her shop, Buck's shop, into a strip mall?
She never gave me an exact location, just that there would be a strip mall.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Delaney. You've been very helpful. A strip mall, really?
Well, the strip mall thing has been blown way out of proportion. It's really just kind of a whim.
I see. Louette, thank you as well. You've been very helpful.
Yes, Louette. Thanks a lot. What a friend.
Well, let me see. I have one more piece of information to share with you. I was able to get access to Buck's safe, actually. In fact, it was standing open. There was no sign of a patent.
Of course there wasn't. Pocket fisherman is mine.
I'm sure I saw that patent. It was just a couple days ago.
You've been sure of a lot of things today, haven't you?
But, Mr. Rogers, I did find the patent in your truck out front. It had Buck's name on it. He was the holder of the patent of the pocket fisherman.
Lie, tell you! my idea. I came up with it first.
I'm afraid you're wrong, Mr. Rogers.
It's not fair, I tell you. I came up with the idea first.
Now, I'm sure this information comes as a shock to you. I know how much you were counting on this deal.
You have no idea. No idea!
You see, I do know of what I speak.
Spoken like a true actress.
So, there you have it.
What? Does that mean Junior did it?
Perhaps.
What does perhaps mean?
It means that any one of you could be tied to this unfortunate event.
Wait a minute, you can't think that I...
Oh, shut up, Frank. I mean, Frank, honey. We just got to be patient and try to cooperate with the inspector.
That just sounded a little too rehearsed.
No one mentioned anything about the hammer that was on the floor.
Oh, yes. The hammer. I almost forgot about it. I had the hammer dusted for fingerprints. And, you know, in a case like this, it's important to see who has touched this hammer recently. And I believe that the hammer that was lying next to Mr. Delaney was indeed the murder weapon.
But you said that we weren't supposed to touch anything.
And it was just as I thought.
Well, what is it?
What'd you find?
My prints are going to be all over it. I use that hammer in the shop all the time.
That's the hammer that I used to hang the bulletin board last week.
No, I used it just to hang up the new calendar.
Now that my fingerprints are on it.
You've all touched the hammer recently.
Oh yeah, I used it to pry open.
So you see, it could have been any one of you.
Thank you so much for narrowing that down to one of us.
You're welcome.
We could have done that much.
I think she's doing an excellent job.
You would.
So, what does that prove? We all touched the hammer. It doesn't prove anything.
Oh, nothing really, and yet everything. So, you see, your job is becoming much more difficult. I'm going to insist that we take a break now so that you can collect your thoughts and think about everything that you've seen and heard. And look through your booklets, review information that's in there, and there will be several staff members on duty that will have some clues for you. Be alert. There are clues everywhere. They may be even posted on doors here and there. And when we come back, you'll have a chance to ask questions of any of these suspects, so get your questions ready as well. Well, I guess that takes care of things for now, and you will need to stay right here and not leave. Do you understand, Mr. Delaney?
Yes, I understand.
How long is this going to take?
Oh, I think 5 minutes will do. All right. You can turn the lights up now so these folks can see to write information down and look at their programs. And I'll be out in the lobby if you have any questions for me. See you all in 5 minutes, right back here. It's just as I thought. Yes, I heard what you said. It's just that I'm not surprised, that's all. Oh, yes, they're all here with me in the cafe. Well, yes, I have noticed several strange and out of the ordinary things. Well, yes, I guess I have missed it a little. No, I wouldn't consider coming back. I'm enjoying my freedom. Why, thank you, Mr. Dunbar. I'll keep that in mind. Yes, you're so kind. Well, I must get back at it. I'll do that, sir. You do the same. Goodbye. Well, shall we get started?
Yeah, you were just about to tell us which one of those three did it.
You are always so sure of yourself. You know, I think you're hiding something,
Oh.
Miss O'Toole.
I know she's hiding something.
You know nothing.
There's that temper again. Very angry person.
Ain't that the truth?
I am not an angry person. It's just that I get irritated when I'm surrounded by devious and annoying people.
I've always found Buck to be
Oh, shut up, Junior.
I think we need to get on with the investigation.
I, for one, would like to get this over with.
Shouldn't we be doing something about Buck's body?
We must leave that to the authorities, I'm afraid.
Where are the authorities anyway?
Well, you know Stan.
Always trying to do too much.
I doubt that he's doing too much today.
And how are you doing out there? Do you have it figured out yet? If you're like me, you have lots of questions. So I'm going to open it up to you so that you can ask some questions. Would you turn some lights up so that we can see? And when you have a question, if you'll raise your hand and wait until they bring a mic to you, and stand and speak up loudly so that everyone can hear.
Excuse me,
Yes?
I have a question,
No, it's their turn.
but it's a good one.
It's their turn. Who would like to start? Yes. Please stand and speak loudly.
When you said, I like my freedom, freedom from what?
Well, you see, as I said earlier, I'm a member of the High Order of the Investigator Society, and I'm retired now, and Mr. Dunbar wanted me to come back full time, but that's what I was referring to. I'm enjoying just being on vacations and,
She's on vacation a lot.
Uh-huh.
yes. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. Yes.
Did Buck have a key to the cafe? And of the 4 other suspects, how many of them had a key?
Me.
I
Well-
didn't have a key.
I have a key, and yes, Buck has a key too.
Why would Buck have a key?
Because sometimes
I
he
don't
likes
even
to
have a
come
key to
in.
this place.
He likes my food.
That was a very good question. Someone else? Over here? Okay. Right over here.
Junior, whenever you were paid to get the thingy from the safe, did you talk to anybody else other than the person who you paid?
Who I paid? I don't think I paid anyone for getting into the
Or
safe.
somebody paid you? Did you talk to anybody other than
Now,
them?
the other day I gave Frank $300 because he's working on my truck. The starter went out.
Right.
It went click, click, click. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely.
I think that was just the echo in your head, Junior.
I think it would be interesting to ask Miss O'Toole a question. Does anyone have a question for Miss O'Toole? Right up here. Please stand up so they can see you, so we can bring the mic to you.
Stand up.
Frank,
Really?
Now, what's something wrong with that?
On the clues, it said that she said she didn't think anyone would miss Buck. Why did you think that?
If you knew Buck, you would know why I would say that. Buck is just, let's just say Buck is, if you think I'm bad,
This could take a while. I'm going to sit down.
Buck, you know, everything that everybody just said is so true. He just wanted everybody to worship him. He wanted everything to be his way, and there was just something about him that.
The world had to revolve around him.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. But there was something different about him that just made people they just drew to him.
I see. Yes.
I have 2 questions for
Yes.
Miss Connie.
Yes, sir.
First question is, sometimes best friends tell best friends their feelings and their thoughts. Did you tell Miss Connie that your best friend, lose somebody,
Louette?
Louette, that you really didn't love Buck?
no, I would never say that. I really love Buck.
Right.
Would I be
Love-
this upset if
I
I
asked
didn't
her-
love
You
him?
love Buck's shop.
And then we also I have information that says that you told Buck about your plans.
I tell Buck everything.
So he knew about your plans to have a strip mall,
Of course he did.
and he was willing to give up the garage.
He loved me.
He would give up what his dad left him.
He loved me.
The only thing that he had left of his dad, he would give up for.
He wanted to move on.
You know he did lie to you about the will. Are you sure that he was telling you the truth?
I still know there's got to be some kind of error there.
That's not true.
Yes,
This
Mrs.
garage
Delaney.
has been in our family for 3 generations. There's no way Buck would have given it up.
I see. This is
Isn't
getting
it?
more and more interesting. Okay, another question.
We got a good question.
The postal worker, you seen running earlier?
Yes, the one that we're having a hard time liking.
Yeah, she was seen running earlier this morning
Uh-huh,
in the wrong direction, I believe, from the postal service.
uh-huh. That's
Can-
what I understood.
I run every morning. What direction was I going? That was wrong.
Which direction does it say? I read it on the table over there. It was north. It was early in the morning north or something towards the postal service.
She was seen running down the alley early this morning. She was going north to the post office.
Down the alley. Yeah.
North
can
to
you
the post
explain why you were
Well,
doing
how
that?
am I going to get to the post office if my post office is north? I have to go north.
There
So,
are,
does
there
that-
are
does
other
that-
ways to go besides the alley.
Yeah, but that's the shortcut. Does this body look like it's going to go the long way?
So do you run to work every morning, and other people will say that they saw you running every morning to work?
Not every morning.
Well, I mean, how often would you say that you run in the morning to
Some
work?
mornings I do.
So if you were to say you ran some mornings, would that be more than once a week?
I heard a comment out here. What did her husband say?
Shut up, Jordan.
Jordan already said it. He drove. He waved at you as you were.
That's right. He
East
said
and
she
west.
drove. That's right.
Interesting.
That's right. I did drive this morning, but I forgot to get the mail out of the box up the street, and so I was running up the street to get the mail, which is in that little box thing right there now, in that little crate.
You
Because
have to,
I have a deadline, and if I don't get it there by a certain time, the postmaster, he's worse than Buck.
you decide if you believe that one. Any more questions? Right up here. Please stand and speak loudly into the microphone.
I have information that Walmart called Shorty, Junior, sorry Junior, that they had to have validation that you had the patent on the pocket fisherman or the deal was off.
Yeah, they've been texting me all morning long, and we're working on that.
Uh-huh.
Please, Walmart is texting you.
So if you didn't have it by evening, then the deal was off. But it's kind of funny that now.
They gave me this pretty bag when I met with them.
Yeah. Junior, you
And
can
some
buy it
goodies
for
in here, too.
99 cents.
How come you didn't have the petition before, and all of a sudden now you have it?
Well, it was just that there was a problem with the patent office and the postmark on the patent office. And apparently, one got in faster than the other, and so that's really what the dispute. I'm not sure, my lawyer's dealing with that, but apparently my application was postmarked before Mr. Buck's, and see, but his made it, mine didn't. And I think that's a little odd. And so my lawyer's looking into it, and they're talking and they're texting me, and hopefully we're gonna get that cleared up here in the next few minutes.
Yeah, they're going to
Right.
do multi-million-dollar business in text.
Yeah. Well, hey, they're up-to-date company. They do all sorts of good stuff. Things you probably don't understand.
Are there any more questions?
here. Frank, I
Yes, ma'am.
understand from this information that you hired a lawyer to nullify the will. And Frank, I heard your brother was going to tell Mom.
Uh-oh.
Are you a mommy's boy and that you're really upset that he was going to tell Mommy?
I wouldn't call myself a mommy's boy.
I think Mrs. Delaney had something else to say there.
But
Tell us, Frank.
I'm waiting for what my mom would like to say.
Well, she told me that you were full of rage. That's one thing she said.
Frank.
Ma'am. Yes, Mommy.
I'm not worried about the will because I knew he hadn't changed it.
That's right.
Okay. But it does upset me to learn that you were in a violent argument with Buck. And Ben Davis had to break it up.
Was that right?
Well, Buck and I were brothers. Brothers just argue all the time. I don't know what that was all about. It was probably about Legos when we were 5 or something.
Well, let me remind you that I said it didn't look like the first time he'd raised a wrench like that.
Do you have to bring that up again?
I admitted Legos.
You did
Of
not
course
invent
you
the Legos.
did.
Him and Al Gore.
Are there any more questions? I think we might have time for one more question.
I have one for the
Yeah.
inspector.
Oh,
Did you have
Me?
a search warrant when you got in poor little Buck's pickup?
well, you see, I'm just an investigator and I'm retired and I just happened upon this crime and
And I don't know that she needed no search warrant. My truck, it doesn't even have doors, so you know.
yeah, I mean, I just saw it there on the front seat.
Excuse me, would this be the time that I could ask you a question?
Yes, I think this would be fine.
Good. And what was it? Oh, yeah, I remember. I thought that maybe we could check with the mayor and have him tell us a little bit about the situation because he knew those Delaney boys really, really good. He knew that whole Delaney family, all the generations and everything. Yeah. So I thought maybe he could help us out.
That's not a bad idea, Junior.
Thank you.
Must have been somebody else's idea.
I'm sorry.
Had to be somebody else's idea.
It was my idea.
Right.
It's a good idea no matter whose it was.
It was my idea. I promise. It was my idea.
Is the mayor out there, what's his name?
Douglas Stein, but we all call him Shorty.
Is Mr. Stein out there? Okay.
See that, Shorty?
Mr. Stein, from your perspective, what kind of person was Buck Delaney?
Besides that.
Buck was an all right guy. He and Connie, I think they were made for each other. And,
I see.
You know, I'm the mayor of this town, and I've been elected mayor for 16 years. And I just want to thank all you guys for being here. You know, I mean, you can vote for me maybe sometime.
Can we get back to this investigation, please?
Yeah. And are you going to live here maybe?
No, I'm just passing through.
Oh, well then, whatever.
I don't think I'd be able to vote for you, so
Okay.
if that's what you're getting at.
Okay, well, I'll just make sure my officer outside of town. What kind of car do you drive?
Let's get on with this.
Okay.
Mr. Stein, you've known these people for quite a while. Who would you think, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but who do you think would have the motive to do such a thing?
Okay, look. I've known the Delaney boys since they were very small. And matter of fact, I knew their mother. I kind of liked their mother before she married their dad.
What are you saying about my mom?
Well,
You mean you were sweet on her? Is that what you mean?
well, I mean, her husband's dead now.
Oh!
Okay. He can cry all he wants, but he called me. He called me and he said, hey, you know, my mom's single now, and
So
she
he-
listens to me.
I
And,
see. Trying to get you two
Yeah,
together.
and you know, I have the little shop here in town. If a wedding was meant for him and his mom, I'd give him the shop.
I get
Sounds
your
to me like
point.
you're not going to be very impartial.
Huh?
Sounds to me like you're not going to be able to be very impartial.
Well, I want to thank you for giving me my mail today.
My job.
Well, I like all you guys, okay? But I will say that Connie did call me on the phone.
Connie called you as well?
Hey, remember
Well-
that free cup of coffee deal we got going? Just
And
remember that.
really, you know, you have the best coffee in the world.
If
But
you like it dark and bitter.
is there a problem with that?
Well, you know, city officials, they kind of used to strong coffee.
She called me and she said that, and she didn't elaborate on it or anything, but she wanted to talk, had something to do with the marriage proposal and the body shop. And I was supposed to get with her and talk to her about it, but that's as far as the conversation.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Stein. You've been very helpful.
Very.
How many people were out of town when you got elected?
Well, okay, as I recall, didn't you win by 3 votes? And I voted 4 times.
Now, you really can't complain about the vote. Did you deliver the mail, and there were mail-in votes?
There were?
Yes.
That's what those were.
Were they enough, Rhonda?
Evidently, you got elected.
Apparently they made it there on time.
Well, I guess we've collected all the evidence there is. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time to put your creative juices to work. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to think about everything you've seen, heard, and observed. Then at that point, our jobs will be done, and we'll just turn this investigation over to the local authorities. I don't know about you, but I'm going to have some space to think about things. So I'll be back in 5 minutes. Good luck. I'll be in the other room. I expect you all to be here when I get back.
This is crazy.
Do I have your cooperation?
I'll be here if that's what you mean.
That's what I mean, all right.
I'll be right here. I'll do anything to find out what happened to Buck.
Oh, right on cue.
For once in your life, would you leave her alone?
Frank, what about you?
Yes, I will be here.
I'm here for the duration. I think it's kind of interesting.
Okay, 5 minutes.
Well, according to my watch, that's 5 minutes.
Are you always right about everything?
Usually.
Well, this time I think you got caught.
I don't know what you mean.
Just wait. They can see right through you.
Oh, they do they? And what exactly is it they see?
That you brutally took Buck away from me, that's what.
Oh, I get it. This is your last dramatic attempt to try to shift the blame off of yourself over onto someone else. Very clever, but extremely overdone.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I think I do, and you do too.
Oh, I can't take any more of this. I'm going to go get her.
Going somewhere, Mr. Delaney?
No, I was just coming to get you. 5 minutes was up, and we're just ready for this to be over with.
I see. According to my watch, we still have 30 seconds left.
Well, my watch is on time. It has to be. People depend on the mail to be on time. And according to my watch, you're 1 minute past the appointed deadline.
Thank you for your accuracy.
No problem.
Well, are we ready?
Yes.
I was actually talking to them.
Oh.
Well, do you have it figured out? Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to have the suspects come up, and I'm going to hold my hand over their head, and based on your applause, we will find out just who did this.
You mean they are going to vote?
In a way.
I'm not so sure I like this.
Oh, she's beginning to realize the implications of what she's done.
No, that's not it at all. It's just last time that I was in something like this, I ended up the winner and the homecoming queen.
And the beautiful queen you were.
Thank you, Frank. But I'm not so sure I want to win this one. You know, I've always been so popular and people are just naturally attracted to me.
Miss
I don't know if
Marshall.
I can be impartial.
Can you believe her ego?
Let me assure you, this is not a popularity contest, and they will be completely impartial.
Are you sure?
Absolutely. Now have a seat. Frank,
What?
have a seat, please.
Why do you want me in the first chair?
It really doesn't matter.
Well, if it doesn't matter, I'd like to sit on the other side of Connie, if that's fine with you.
For peace sake, Frank, I'll sit in the first chair.
Well, thank you, Ronna. That was very decent of you.
That means I must be last. I don't know that I like this, being last at all.
It'll be all right, Junior. Now, shall we get started? Now, you've heard all the evidence, and I hope you've formed an opinion. So based on your applause, we will find out who committed this crime. Let's start with Miss O'Toole. Please clap.
I thought you told me that these people were smart.
They are.
Evidently, some of them aren't.
They're very smart. Miss Delaney.
You don't think I could do this to my future husband?
You maybe should have had a few more acting lessons.
Shall we continue? Mr. Delaney.
How could you think I would do this to my own brother?
I always knew there was something strange about you, Frank.
We have one more. Mr. Rogers. Well, I think we have our murderer.
What?
Frank.
No, it couldn't have been me.
Your own
What?
brother?
Really?
I hate to disappoint you all, but Frank didn't lay a hand on me.
That's Buck's voice.
His feet are moving.
Buck, are you under there? Buck, are you alive?
Sure, honey, I think I am.
Buck,
What in the world?
Buck, you're not dead?
I think I'm not.
I do believe that we overlooked an important piece of information here.
That's right. No one checked the body.
Yeah.
I told you you should have checked the
She
body.
wouldn't let us. She said it's against the law.
But I told you we should have checked.
I feel just terrible about this. How could I have overlooked that information? I must be getting old. I'm so embarrassed.
Connie, are you okay?
You know, can I just get going? I've got a lot of work to do.
Don't you want to know what happened?
Not really.
Well, I certainly do.
Well, Mr. Delaney, why don't you tell us just what happened?
Well, this morning, I wanted to work on Mr. Morey's car, so I could work on that 57 Chevy. Well, I'd like to come to the cafe to eat. So as I was walking, I bumped into this table. It just shook and rocked. And how much I hate things that need to be fixed. So I went back to the shop, got my tools, came back up to the
been hoodwinked.
Exactly how long were you laying there?
I mean, when did the light came in?
Yeah, that was over an hour ago.
I know, it's quite hard laying underneath the table, so still.
Mr. Delaney, that was extremely deceptive of you. Couldn't you see the pain that was going on here? How could you do that?
It's not every day you get to hear a story like this.
Bob, it's true. You are alive.
Yeah, I'm fine, I think.
What a morning. Wait till you hear what I've been through.
Yeah.
You're not going to have to wait to tell him.
What do you mean?
He heard everything.
Everything?
Everything. He's been lying underneath the table this whole time, just faking it.
Really? Did you not hear what I was going through?
Connie, everything you wrote was so interesting.
But all the pain, it was so hurtful. It just, I can't believe it.
This is our entire police force.
Well, I got here just as quick as I got the message. A murder, huh? Well, everything's under control. Nobody goes anywhere. Where's the victim?
Victim? I think we're the victims, Officer Cooper.
Well, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this, but first somebody gives me a full explanation of what just happened.
Cooper, we don't have time for that.
But Donna, I need a little support here.
Sorry, Cooper.
Cooper, go back to your fishing hole. Everything's all right.
But I got an urgent call about a crime that happened here at Connie's Coca-Cola. And I plan on upholding justice.
There's a big misunderstanding. Connie Wild is dead.
Is that right, Connie?
Yes, that's true. He's not dead, but he may need some medical assistance in a while.
She's just a little fired up, but everything will be all right.
Well, y'all sure?
Yes, Coop. Everything's fine.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna get back to office. Got a lot of work to do, you know. Protect and to serve.
Looks like you're pretty busy.
That's great.
That's my life.
Thanks.
Bye, Coop.
Bye.
Who's that Dr. Fisher?
Well, I guess I'll get back to my little vacation.
You can't just leave.
Why not?
Well, you got us all stirred up, and well, what about them?
Oh, yes, how thoughtless of me. You can all go home now. It's all over. And I do apologize for that little oversight about the condition of the victim. That goes to show you you're never too old. And a good investigator should turn over every stone. Now, Mr. Delaney, good luck with finding a girl.
Thank you.
And Junior, I hope you have a lot of luck with your inventions. Miss O'Toole?
Yes.
Oh, never mind. And Miss Marshall, you have a lovely little cafe.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Mr. Delaney, you were a naughty boy. Well, good night, everyone. Have a nice life.
Just like that. She's gone.
Anyone here?
Oh, that's Mr. Davis. I'll be right there, Mr. Davis. I gotta get back to work.
Right, you can't just leave.
Well, I guess I better get to it. I've got all sorts of new ideas. Real stimulating stuff. See y'all later. Bye.
You're not just gonna walk away after all that we've been through? I mean, come on, guys.
Don't you have mail to deliver?
Well, yeah, but don't you think it's kind of weird to just end it and walk away with
Now what?
I don't know. It's just like weird, isn't it?
What do you think we should do?
I honestly don't know. Maybe we can get together sometime and talk about it
I'm just glad you're alive. Do you forgive me?
Forgive you?
Well, yeah, you heard everything. You know all my plans.
I mean, it's okay to have dreams. Just fill me in on it, that's all.
That's fair. I will. I promise I will. I really do love you.
I love you too.
Just don't ever do that to me again.
Hey, got it.
Man. Now, where was I? What a morning. No, I'm going to fix that right now before something else can go wrong. I think he said it just needed a little shimmy, maybe a little tap. Ah!
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We'll bring the cast out in just a second, introduce you to them. But first, I have a special announcement. There's someone special with us here this evening. Joe Craig is celebrating his 70th birthday. Joe, where are you? Back there. Stand up, Joe. And I believe also shortly, Joe and Mary are celebrating their 50th anniversary. Mary, go ahead and stand up with him. Come on, Mary. All right, congratulations, you guys. All right, your cast this evening, Lola and Gina Myers was played by Abby Keever and Ariel Ricksecker. Police Chief Cooper is played by Doug Brown. The adopted Buck Delaney, played by Jermaine Brown. Our inventor, Horace Jr. Rogers, is played by Barry Nance. Our postal delivery worker, Ronna O'Toole, is played by Cindy Nicolai. Our inspector, Mildred McBride, played by Lynn Heath. The victim's brother, Frank Delaney, played by Greg Morris. And the owner of Connie's Cup of Coffee, none other than Connie Marshall, played by Misty Cannon. Let's hear it one more time for all of them. Thanks so much for coming. Drive safe and have a great night.